So when I was like 13, 14 years old, I was actually experimenting with overdubbing and multi-tracking, and I think that's one of the reasons why the records Porcupine Tree we make today are so sonically involved, because that's really what I fell in love with at the beginning.
A lesson that we've learned in the past is it's worth spending some time right at the beginning, you know, making sure that your studio is set up correctly, that you're getting the best signal path, all the levels are good. So when I get to play the drums, I haven't got to worry about that, I just get into performance mode. I mean, it's always nice to hear something at its best possible quality. And I always think it's a shame that there's no one really ever going to hear it that good again.
It's really the battle of convenience over quality. You know, I mean, if you draw an analogy between the whole kind of fast food industry, most people are quite happy, most of the time, eating fast food. But if you give them the alternative, you know, then you hope the majority of them would at least appreciate the difference in quality and prefer that in the longer term. Surround is wonderful. You know, it's a wonderful kind of three-dimensional, totally immersive musical experience. I want to feel like the air moving. I want to hear the air vibrating. I want to kind of be immersed in the music in a space.
Sometimes you're out and about and you're listening on headphones, or you're listening in a car or something, you know, but if you really want to enjoy the experience, you need to be in your kind of private little world without distractions, with the speakers that you like, in the room that you like, you know, sitting in the right place.
Personally, I would love to be living in a world where everyone thinks 5.1 high-definition audio is how music's supposed to sound, but right now we're at the opposite end of the audio spectrum, in a world where MP3s are, I guess, probably the way most audio is experienced right now. I mean, any musician will tell you that when they hear their music compressed in MP3 format are usually horrified. Now, the thing is, when you don't know the source material particularly well, an MP3 may sound adequate, but in terms of the actual quality compared to the source material, there's no comparison.
I'd like to try to mix in 5.1 as well. I've seen Stephen doing it very successfully, and it's a very exciting format to be involved in. We're kind of evolving the way we work all the time, even over the last 3 albums. Once you've done something a couple of times, you think, well, maybe there's a better way to do it. Maybe we could try moving on to a new platform and kind of move upwards.
If you think Dark Side of the Moon was the album that made everyone want to buy a stereo, and I think in the 80s there was 1 or 2 albums that made everyone want to buy a CD player. I remember Dire Straits' Brothers in Arms was like the CD that you had to buy to show off your CD player. And maybe it's just a case of the right album coming along to kind of convince everyone they need to go out and invest in, you know, in high audio 5.1 surround sound. Maybe that's just around the corner, who knows?